The darkness over central Texas feels alive. Through the green glow of a night vision scope, the land shimmers with heat, not from the air but from the moving bodies of wild boars crossing the fields like ghosts. The hum of a helicopter grows louder overhead. Its searchlight cuts through the black, sweeping over a landscape scarred by tracks and torn crops. Below, armed hunters stand by their trucks, waiting for the signal. Over the radio, a calm voice says, "Targets confirmed, moving north." And just like that, the hunt begins. High above, the gunner leans out of the chopper door, rifle braced against his shoulder. In the beam of light, dozens of animals scatter. The bursts of fire echo through the valley, flashing against the night sky. Each shot is followed by silence, then another wave of movement. On the ground, other hunters move in to finish what the air team starts. Their boots sink into mud mixed with trampled corn and furrows torn open by tusks. The smell of soil, fuel, and sweat fills the air. The narrator's voice cuts in, steady and low. This isn't sport. It's defense. Across the American heartland, millions of wild boars are threatening the survival of farmers, ripping through crops, destroying fences, and spreading disease to livestock. For those who work the land, this has become a war. One fought with drones, dogs, traps, and high-powered rifles. At a farm outside Waco, a team of local hunters prepares for another night run. They call themselves the Field Keepers. Their pickup trucks look like mobile command centers, mounted with spotlights, cameras, and racks of rifles. The leader, a weathered man named Boone, checks his thermal scope and points to the horizon. "They'll come from that ridge," he says. "Same place as last week. They always remember where the corn is." His tone is part frustration, part admiration. Boars are smart and frighteningly smart. Hunters say they learn patterns faster than most predators. "They watch us," Boone says, loading his weapon. "They know when we change shifts, when the lights go out, even when the dogs bark too soon." That's why modern hunting has turned into a science. Drones circle above the fields, streaming live footage to tablets. Motion sensors along the fences send alerts straight to cell phones. When the first notification pings, the team moves. The camera follows them through rows of soybeans glistening under moonlight. The sound of grunting grows louder. A spotlight flashes, eyes shine back. The dogs are released, sprinting into the dark. Shouts, shots, chaos, and then silence again. The hunters regroup, breathing hard. "You can't trap 'em all," one mutters, wiping dirt from his face. "You just hold the line." For a moment, the scene slows. The narrator explains that every night like this costs farmers thousands of dollars. A single herd can dig up an acre of soil in hours, destroying irrigation systems and contaminating water troughs with bacteria. Across Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, helicopters operate almost nightly, hired by landowners desperate to defend their crops. Each mission can kill dozens of animals, yet by the next week more take their place. In another region, the camera captures a different kind of hunt. A father and son in Louisiana set up a circular steel trap the size of a swimming pool. They bait it with fermented corn and connect it to a remote trigger. Hours later, their phone vibrates. Motion detected. On screen, a herd appears. The boy whispers, "Wait for all of them." When the last pig steps inside, the father presses the button. The gate slams shut. Inside, chaos erupts. "That's 24 in one night," the man says. "That'll buy us 2 days of peace." Even scientists join the fight. At the University of Georgia's Wildlife Lab, researchers monitor GPS collars placed on captured boars. The data shows migration routes stretching hundreds of miles. "They adapt faster than we can respond," says one biologist. Every control method teaches them something new. Some programs now test chemical sterilization, an attempt to stop reproduction rather than rely on endless hunting. But results are slow and farmers can't afford to wait. Back on Boone's farm, dawn rises over a field pocked with craters. The team loads carcasses onto a flatbed truck, their shadows long against the orange sky. Coyotes howl in the distance, drawn by the smell. Boone lights a cigarette and watches the horizon. "They'll be back," he says quietly. "They always come back." The narrator's voice fades in. In America's farmlands, the night never truly ends. When the sun sets, the war resumes. A fight not for trophies, but for survival. The camera tilts upward, following a lone drone ascending into the pale morning light, its propellers buzzing like insects. On the screen below, heat signatures begin to appear again. New movements at the edge of the field. Another herd. Another night waiting to happen. Night falls again over the endless plains of Oklahoma, and the hunt begins just as it did the night before. But this time it looks different. Colder, sharper, more precise. Trucks line the edge of a cornfield like a convoy, engines humming in the dark. The men and women who step out aren't just hunters anymore. They're operators. Cameras mounted on their rifles, drones circling overhead, live feeds streaming to control tablets on dashboards. The modern war against the wild boar has become a system, part science, part survival, part business. From the sky, the thermal drone captures a moving patch of heat. The pilot, a young woman named Rhea, adjusts the zoom and marks the coordinates. "Got him," she whispers. The image is beamed to a helicopter 3 miles away. Inside, 2 men in tactical gear ready their rifles. 30 seconds to drop, says the pilot. The light flares below and the field erupts with motion. Dozens of dark shapes scatter. The gunners track fire, move on. The helicopter circles, then banks sharply and heads for another property. In one night, they'll cover nearly 10,000 acres. The narrator's voice drifts in. For farmers across America, this is what survival looks like. Not rows of crops under sunshine, but crosshairs glowing green in the dark. Across the South, companies now specialize in this kind of work. They call themselves hog control operations, privately funded teams hired to protect farmlands. Some use helicopters, others rely entirely on drones and remote traps. The technology is impressive. Infrared cameras, satellite tracking, automated sensors that send alerts when herds approach irrigation lines. Every beep on a screen could mean thousands of dollars saved. In a workshop outside Lubbock, engineers demonstrate a prototype of a smart trap, an 8-foot steel cage equipped with motion sensors and AI recognition. It won't close unless the entire herd is inside. The idea is simple: catch them all or catch none. Partial trapping only makes them smarter, explains the developer. They remember, we have to be smarter too. Meanwhile, scientists in government labs are testing a new frontier: sterilization through bait. The compound mixed into feed renders male boars infertile. It's still under study, facing regulatory hurdles and ethical debates. We are trying to stop the war before it happens, one biologist says. But technology moves slower than biology. As the film unfolds, the narrator describes how the problem has outgrown even the best intentions. In states like Texas, boar hunting has become an industry of its own. Tourists pay thousands of dollars to join nighttime helicopter hunts, turning necessity into adrenaline. The footage shifts. Men in camouflage pose beside their kills, smiling for photos as rotors spin behind them. For them, it's adventure. For farmers, it's just another night of survival. Back in Missouri, the focus returns to the people who live the consequences. A farmer named Jeanette stands beside a broken fence, her boots sinking into the churned mud. "They came through here last week," she says. "Took out half my soybeans. I used to love the quiet out here. Now I can't sleep unless I hear the dogs barking." Her voice cracks, a mixture of fear and exhaustion that no amount of high-tech weaponry can fix. The narrator lowers his tone. For every field saved, another falls. For every herd reduced, 2 more emerge beyond the ridge. The battle lines stretch across the heart of America, invisible on maps, but carved deep into the soil. As dawn breaks, the camera returns to Boone, now the veteran hunter from Texas. His face is lit by the pale glow of a drone monitor. He watches the screen in silence, movement again out near the tree line. Another herd. He doesn't speak, just nods once and reaches for his rifle. The engine starts. The headlights go off. The narrator delivers the closing words, slow and deliberate. In the fight for the fields, there are no victors, only survivors. The land gives, the land takes, and between them the wild boar endures. As long as there's corn in the ground and silence after dark, this war will never truly end. The final shot rises high above the plains. Morning fog drifts over acres of farmland, scarred but still alive. In the distance, faint shapes move, steady, unstoppable. The credits roll over the hum of a drone and the echo of Boone's voice. They're back again,